Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well, and I hope you can hear me this time. I did turn the computer on, and it's now registering the Scarlett uh, audio device. So let me know if you guys can hear me. I mean, there's only Abhi here. There's 6 people there, 3 likes, but 1 person showing up. So what's going on, guys? Incognito. Abhi says, hello, how are you? Hello, Abhi. On the occasion of Diwali in India, may God bless all of us. Thank you very much, and same to you, dear. Thank you. Can you guys hear me now? Again, this happened this this afternoon, but this was shorter. Now, this afternoon I spoke 20 minutes before I noticed somebody is telling me, and I could notice somebody sent a super chat which was bigger than typing, so my corner of my eyes got something colorful. So I looked and said there was a message, we can't hear you. So how far did I talk? Can you guys hear me now? Since second comment. So can you guys hear me now? Okay, so how far did you guys hear? Did you hear the answer to Abhi's second question says when you feel like you're going to be lonely? So on the second comment, you didn't hear anything, huh? The question sometimes when in life no one comes and we are in need to have someone in life to love and care, what to do when the thoughts of loneliness eats the mind. Did you guys hear the answer to that? Oh, Dollywood. Okay. I have to repeat it again. Now let's see if I can remember. Yeah, it happened in the morning too, when I had another live talk this afternoon, and 20 minutes into it, I finally found out it's not so. All right. So because I rebooted the computer and then it recognized the Scarlet, but apparently it shuts down now, even though it recognized right now. But can you hear now? Can you guys hear what I'm saying right now before I start? Okay. So what I said was in regards to your answer that you say, what do I do when the thoughts of loneliness eats the mind? I said that this is what exactly you should focus on, that this is thought. Thought has no actuality. Thought is an idea. Idea cannot be reality. If, let's say, you had gone through your life and one moment, please. If you have gone through your life and it's, let's say, I don't know, 60, 70 years into it, and you have evidence that you've been lonely and you had no one to care for you or you care for her, and you end up almost towards the end of your life, and then you have an evidence that it was a lonely life, then okay. But now it's a thought, it's an idea that the brain has brought out, and it doesn't mean an idea is actuality, is a thought, is some kind of a possibility which is based on the program that the brain has to protect you. So it brings about suggestions, possibilities of danger, suggests something that is not, but wants to make you aware and be wise to do whatever is possible to do so this danger or this possibility will not happen to you. Whatever it is, that it could be against what you want it to be, against what your wishes is, against your lifestyle, against your intention in life. It thinks of it as that what is against what you prefer is a danger. So it brings a thought, suggestion, image, an idea. So it kind of alerts you that you make sure that that which could be against what you want it to be will not end up happening in actuality for you. So it's supposed to be a alarm. It's supposed to be something to make you poised and aware so you will protect yourself. Brain's job is to protect you. But sometimes it goes overboard and comes up with all kind of negativities and all kind of things that then it's a different tangent, different topic, OCD and so on and so forth. But in this particular case, the a thought of being lonely, it's a fear of something that is really hasn't happened. It's basically encouraging you to go and accomplish yourself more. I don't know, educate yourself more or get a better job and prepare and make a good life for yourself. So there would be more women interested to get to know you. So you will actually make sure that this idea of being lonely will never happen. So it's like a support to alarm you, to make you to do your best. So this kind of a danger or possibility that is out there that can happen to some people, whether it's about being lonely, whether it's about you're not being who you are, you're not ending up having the lifestyle that you want. It just conjures that up, but none of them mean anything to you. It's irrelevant. It's just something that the brain is programmed to do in order to alarm you. And sometimes when it goes rogue, then it goes nuts and it malfunctions. That's a different story. But in this kind of a thing, it's just trying to bring alertness to you so you do better in life and you do make sure that you accomplish the things you want to accomplish, so you'll have more chance to have possibilities of getting to know, the women that you won't end up being alone, getting married, or whatever it is that you have in your mind. Whatever relationship that you're looking for, that you will make sure that it will be there so you won't be alone. So, already repeated myself. And so, Aman says 19 male India. My friend messaged me after a long I saw and got chill and wave of anxiety. I got afraid that I'll get fake attraction towards him. Now I'm feeling terrible. No, don't. Go talk to your friend. If you feel attracted, well, that's a feeling, but that doesn't mean that your intention is that. Feeling, suggestion, idea, images, these are all effects that the mind and the brain and thoughts could have on the body, but that does not mean just because such a thing has been popped up in your head or has made an effect on you, it means that is also your choice. Remember, you are always the only one in command of turning, allowing any thought, image, or suggestion to become an actuality, to become an action, to turn into action and become tangible. So as long as you are in control, which you are, you will decide what is it that you prefer in life, and you have a choice, and you function based on the choices that you have, not based on the suggestion that somebody in the streets utters or something in your brain pops up as far as suggestion, images, or thoughts are concerned. So no fear, no problems. You feel attracted to that friend, okay, that's a feeling. You're a human being. You can like pleasant things or attracted things, or it could be something that you may experience a smell of good cologne, and you find it encouraging as far as it's a good smell, but that means nothing to do with, it's not relevant to your choices in life and your preferences in life. But you have the we are designed to appreciate good things, good looking things, and good pleasant energy, good attention. We all like to have attention of other people. We like other people to like us. And so these are all normal, but that doesn't mean just because you have this kind of a appreciation for someone's good looks or cleanliness or well presented or any kind of a good energy exchange, that means it's a homosexuality or it's a sexuality question. It just means that's how human being has abilities to function. You know, you can like anything. What does that mean? You can like good look of other people and appreciate that. Could be same gender, but that doesn't matter. It's okay. It's not supposed to be interpreted. The problem is that every feeling or every thought that comes to your mind, you try to interpret it. Do not interpret anything. So many things that we see and we feel or we maybe go through, but you're not supposed to interpret it. That's what it is. But who you are, what your intention is, what your inclination is, what your preference is, what your decision and choices are, that's not going to change because that's up to you, not up to thought or what other people may utter or not utter. Understand that, then you'll be fine. Go and talk to your friend and get used to the idea that these are not hazards because you are always in control. You choose what your lifestyle and what your interests and inclinations are based on how you've been put together, created, and born, and that's how you're going to be, regardless of how in between thought pops up and suggestions pops up and makes you think different. That's all bullshit. You are who you've always been, and you always will be who you've always been, and who you want to be, and who you are, and that's not going to change just because the thoughts show up. So go on, have your discussion with your friends, and get used to the idea that who you are, it's like you've always been, and who you always will be. David is here, says, hello, Mehran. Albuquerque Male 25. Hello, Dave, Albuquerque Male 25. and she's, Anand says, happy Diwali to you as well, and thank you for that. Abhi says, thank you for repeating it. It has been 3 years now, and no one is there, and I always feel the sense of this feeling of loneliness, and also when we see our friends and getting married, exes getting married, but although trying to know someone, there is no one in life for loving. There is, but the problem is that you're going with a certain agenda. When you go for a certain agenda, people feel it, and nobody likes to feel that there is a certain kind of a plan with this hello. Just like when you go into a store and you have this feeling that I want to buy something, I definitely want to buy that thing. When you enter the store, the clerk feels that this person wants to spend his money and wants to buy. So they feel that your intention, goes ahead of you. So when you have this energy of I want to get to know this girl, that desperosity, the feeling that you really want to, she feels it. And whomever feels that she's being targeted, no matter what qualifications you have, just because she already knows you're interested, she loses interest. Why? Because most people don't have that kind of a confidence in themselves. When they know somebody wants them, the price goes up. When you go into a store and the clerk knows that you want to buy this product, suddenly price changes. Why? Because he's whiffed it. You want to buy. You're desperate. You really want it. Nudges it up. Same thing. You go with an intention, with a plan, with some kind of a game in mind that you want to get to know her, you want to marry her. She feels it. And suddenly you've given her something when she hasn't done anything for it. She hasn't shown any meeting your standards, any qualities that you would be looking for. So she says, why am I getting all this attention for? Suddenly your attention becomes worthless because she got it for nothing. She didn't have to work for it. She didn't have to qualify for it. So when you go to meet people with that in mind, that, oh, I'm lonely, oh, there's a possibility, there's a chance, they'll feel that and they won't want to have anything to do with you. So instead, feel like, okay, listen, I am not interested to get a girlfriend or, get married. I'm just want to pass my time, see who this person is. how her life is, if she qualifies to be my friend, if I would like to have a friend like her, what has she done to herself in this life? What has she produced and accomplished in this life? Does she meet my standards? You must have certain standards, and all these qualifications and expectations will then exude outwardly, extend outwardly, and she feels that she's not part of the club yet. She's not chosen. Therefore, it becomes a normal interaction. So that is something you want to try. Abid Pulok says, hi Mehran, hello Abid. And Didi Berry, oh, you haven't been around for a while, Didi. Says, hello sir, I'm 26 from Minnesota, male. I have talking with a girl from Canada. Oh, okay. When I call her, we talk for 2 hours and have lots of fun on the phone. But she always wants to call but she always wants to call her first, or want me to call her first. She does not. Yeah, okay, so what? It's you guys have not met each other, it's online, she doesn't know who you are, she can't feel comfortable to call you, and she also can see that, well, maybe nothing's going to come off of it. There's no sense of actually right now, there's no flight or anything for you guys to arrange anything. And she's a lady, she's a woman, and usually women like to be approached, not to approach. Although times have changed and they can do whatever they want, and they do. But this particular girl feels like maybe you guys are not that close yet, and it's kind of weird it's hard for a girl to call a guy when they've just kind of met only online. It's not that easy. But I guess it's not out of line, but she doesn't feel comfortable. So what? So what do you want from her? I mean, it's a long distance anyhow. It's only talk. So even that, you want to, satisfy your ego. She's calling me. Okay, she calls you. So then what? Or you call her. Maybe she's busy, she can't talk. Are you going to be upset? Just consider this long distance as just a discussion, connection, interaction, communication, nothing more. So kind of settle down. Don't think like, oh, that's a possibility of a long-term girlfriend and marriage and the love of my life. I found her maybe, but just calm down and understand these are all pretty much part of getting to know each other. Gee, my hand still hurts from that fall. All right. Amon, I don't really know what you want to get out of this as far as these continuously repeating yourself. It doesn't matter what I say. So I think perhaps you need to talk to a psychotherapist there and to be where you are so he or she can discuss from close to find out. Otherwise, if you keep repeating yourself, you become really good at believing what you're repeating. You don't seem to hear me out at all. You just enjoy the response, but you see, you're trying to interpret. I just asked you, don't interpret anything. You said, does it because of I'm at home from long period and didn't have any direct girl interaction? Is that why my mind is dissolved in no attraction to girls and I'm feeling this? I don't really know, because you are trying to nitpick at every single feeling. I mean, these are things that happens in the brain, because brain does have these weird way of conjuring up thoughts. The problem with you is that you want to make sense out of every thought that the brain makes. And I'm trying to tell you that the brain is stupid. Do not try to interpret what the brain does. You have a choice. It doesn't matter what the brain says. You want to continue the way you've always been, then that is your command. You direct your attention and activities toward that lifestyle that you are used to, that you're interested in, that it's been always like that. If that's the case, you'll be changing this because the brain suggests, and then what are you going to do in a year, in a few months when the brain suggests something else? Then maybe the brain suggests something else. Maybe the brain is going to suggest you, I don't know, go do some weird other things. You are supposed to understand that the brain is an apparatus, but you're the boss, you're the judge. You decide based on values, based on things that you like and you want it to be, based on your directive, based on your choices, you accept or not accept what thought conjures up. Not based on, oh, this is the thought that came to my mind. And maybe then, nah. You make what you want to happen based on how you've been created and put together and how your life has been so far and what you like it to be, even if it doesn't feel like the way you've always preferred it to be and was. So you like girls? Stay on course. You've always liked girls? Stay on course. Doesn't matter what garbage shows up in your brain. The brain is irrelevant to you what it conjures up. You could be of any gender and the brain could cause you to try to make you feel or think you are not the gender that you've been born as, that you're accustomed to, that you like to be. This is what the brain of every human being can do. There are malfunctions. And in this day and age, I don't know if it's the waves, I don't know if it's a 5G, I don't know if it's pandemic, I don't know if it's loneliness, I don't know if it's lack of socialization, I don't know what it is. So many people are being hit with HOCD. I don't know what's going on, but whatever is going on, you have to stick your grounds to your genetic code, which is whatever it is as you have been born. Continue that and don't be bamboozled by the suggestions that the brain does, because brain is nobody. Brain is your servant. Conjure up something. You don't listen to something that doesn't have the education or doesn't have the understanding or the wisdom and the choices and the ownership of this entity of yours. You are that, not the brain. So you want to keep listening to the brain, you're going to keep interpreting what the brain does, and there's always going to be doubting, because OCD is a doubting disease. Doesn't matter what comes to your head and then what you counter it with, you're going to doubt that. Just leave it. Don't listen to it. Keep your values together. Protect your values and how you are, what you want to be, what you prefer, and focus on that as long as it takes till death do you part out of this world. Then you are sure that you're in command, not the brain. You choose and you decide what's good for you. All right. Appy says, reason I think I live in an area or locality where there is no opposite gender, not even in my workplace or neighborhood. So this is the sole reason for me to come to Canada for studies or to be social. All right, well, you don't have to go that far. I mean, maybe it's a small city, go to a bigger city. Abid says people with OCD has a less communication and understanding skill, and also they couldn't make a proper decision. Is that true? Found these on internet. No, it's fucking bullshit. In fact, people with OCD are above average intelligence. The problem with them is that they cannot be turned dumb. Their brain is quite active and imaginative. That's why they are usually pretty smart, and they invent things. They come up with new ways, new things, design new things, and come up with ideas of technologies and things because they have that ability. And then their brain gets, sometimes it's creative and it becomes overactive, and then when it goes rogue and there's a malfunction in the brain, then it causes these. It has to do with these malfunctions. Um, but people who have very severe OCDs, it keeps them at home because they think their hands going to be dirty. They don't want to touch anything. Now, of course, those people are going to stay home and they won't socialize, and then they become lonely and they feel, all these kind of intrusive thoughts shows up because they're sitting there, and all their brain can do is go to the memory, come up with all kind of things and try to change scenarios and come up with thoughts, and it's overactiveness. But if they simply understand that these are just not credible, these are thoughts that tells them that they have to wash their hands 50 million times, maybe 2 times is enough. And they eventually start going out and interact. But right now, interaction is not that easy anyhow, even if they were not worried about that. All right. Abid says, my psychiatrist made me confused in my OCD diagnosis. Once they said I have no OCD, I'm just a sensitive person. They also said I might have OCD. It seems very confusing. Then I started. Where is it? I lost you. So see, it's very confusing. It seems very confusing. Then I started learn about. This keeps jumping. Aman, stop writing. I want to read this thing. What are you writing, a book? It seems very confusing. Then I started learn about OCD. Then I read articles. It made me worse after reading that. I feel like I have all these symptoms. Yeah, but OCD is not something to be scared of. It's to understand. If you watch my playlist, which explains what OCD is, just go on the OCD playlist. There's a playlist called OCD. There's a playlist called Intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos, which tells you about the role of brain, thoughts, and you. And there, depending if it's an HOCD, that's maybe different OCD that you have. I don't know what kind of OCD you have. Then I have another playlist called Intrusive Transient OCD, HOCD Negative Thoughts, which explains all about those things about homosexual OCD. But depends on what kind of OCD you have. And I also have just general topic of OCD, which basically is a malfunction of the midbrain, namely caudate nucleus, that is supposed to shut down the intrusive thoughts, and it doesn't automatically. So you have to become aware of it and recognize the thought for what it is, call it for what it is. Intrusive thoughts, OCD, that's not me, that's OCD, that's intrusive thoughts, that's not me. And then on that basis, you will then deal with what it is that you have to deal with by recognizing the thought as being what it is, not as something that is your thought. Because you are using the apparatus of the brain, and then you create thoughts that is useful for you to do some calculating, learning, whatever it is. And then brain itself uses the apparatus of the brain to calculate things, and or not calculate things, to conjure up things which has nothing to do with you. And you mix them up and you think that's also your choice, your thought. No, that's brain's thinking, not your thinking. So if you can separate these two and understand there's a separation between brain, thought, and you, then you'll be free from all the suggestions that the brain does, and then you'll be able to learn how to deal with it, and that is not a life-threatening thing in most cases. And when you want to go to a psychotherapist, it has to be a specialist in OCD. In the description of my videos, you have links of specialists such as Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, and you can maybe find them, reach out to them. They have um, remote Zoom or Skype consultations. You can deal with it long distance through their services. They have clinics that they attend to people, and they are specialists for OCD. Not any psychologist can simply understand OCD or be specialized on that. In the meantime, you can watch the videos that I have on the playlist and educate yourself. Guys, I want to take about 7 minutes break. I gotta do something and be right back. 7 minutes. You guys make yourself some tea and come up with your questions, and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So, where were we? Okay, how many people can guess? Oh, there's only four of us here, for heaven's sake. That's a very successful live streaming. Maybe I should stop doing it. Nobody's expecting it, huh? Chester, male 27, Hawaii, aloha Marin. He says, aloha Chester, mahalo. Glad I could make it to this live stream. Hope you are doing well. Thank you for that. And someone that I don't know what his name is because it's in a different alphabet. And I do need there's a hello sir, my name is Mushfiq, from South Asia. South Asia is a big place. Which country? And 23 years old. I notice that I always wake up with a sense of anxiety. I thought that I just ended the topic. Then why I do have this anxiety? Well, many people have anxiety. Anxiety is something that we've had since a million years ago because we were always frightened about the possibilities of, I don't know, some dinosaur eats us, or some environmental, some tsunami, some earthquake, some fire, some heat sun, some lack of food, some other people attacking my little home, take my chicken or take my woman and all that. So there were danger all the time. And in our DNA, anxiety is our protective system. So we're constantly, a sound comes, what is it? What's the danger? So that has traveled with you, and to some of us stays, very heightened and very strong. So you need to deal with that in order to bring yourself to a lower level of, defense system. It's like, you see in the movies, and when there are two countries about to kind of, have some discrepancies, DEFCON, 5, DEFCON 4, DEFCON 3, depends on what the heightened defense systems are all about, what stage of war they are, how tense they are. So their alarm goes higher or lower. So you got to be able to understand the anxiety is not actuality, and it fools you to do things that is not really true. So you want to counter that. He says, do I need a lot of thought? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I have research done to understand what these things are, and I have been able to deliver that through the videos and through some one-on-one discussions on Skype with people who can understand that nothing beats visiting their doctor and their psychologist and ask questions and have them be examined by them, by the specialist, and then get their answers from them. However, these, what we talk about here is, according to the research and some things that generally can be of some knowledge. And otherwise, I don't know a specific situation for you, and I doubt if I can just simply hear a few words and be able to make any kind of a proper. So my best suggestion is for you to discuss these sort of serious issues, if it's a serious issue for you, with your doctor, and then get direction from them. But as long as the videos and the generalities of this information is concerned, then my videos are there, and I'm here to answer any questions that I can. But nothing is best than talking to your doctor about the specifics. Yeah, Aman, that is the normal thing, because when you go and talk with girls, you think you have to entertain them, you think you have to impress them because you really want to be with them, you really want to, be in a relationship with them, you really like to, have the opportunity to have any sort of intimacy with them. So therefore you're nervous, and it makes you feel like you talk certain things that is not necessary, and you're under the pressure, you want to entertain them, and then you kind of mess it up, and then you're not normally interacting with them, and they get bored because you feel, oh, they've got something so important that you don't have, which is, of course, you want sex with them, you want to get to know them, but they have so many people interested in them, so they don't show that kind of interest in you. We are men, we are visual, they are morally interested in to see what's in your head and how you're going to treat them, what you're going to provide, and what future you have, and all that. So different way of gauging you. So therefore, you're always, under the spotlight, and you feel you have to perform, you have to be entertaining, and that pressure makes you feel like, oh, I don't want to be rejected. Therefore, you begin to train yourself not to be interested in girls, because what's the use of all the anxiety and all the tension, and then they will reject me because I'll be boring, then I have to entertain them, and it's too much pressure, and you say, oh, fuck it, I don't even want. Then you start losing interest, not because you lose interest in the female, because you lose interest, you don't want to go through the anxiety and the stress and the rejection and all the so far disappointments that comes with it. That's why you get these kind of feelings that you get, not because you don't like girls, from what you've told me. Yeah, when you feel pressure talking with girls, is because you want something from them. You have a plan. You wanted to get to something. You think talking to girls is about somehow getting to kiss them or fuck them or something. I want you to understand that be just interactive. Interact with this human being. Doesn't matter if it's a girl or boy, just be gentle, be concerned about their interests, interact about their life experiences, see what they want to talk about, and just socialize rather than having a plan in the back of your head for this socialization. I'm talking to her because I want to date her. No, just see if she qualifies to be your friend. Who is she? What is she made out of? What has she done in this world? What does she do? What's her plans? What has she accomplished? Don't just say, oh, she's a female, I want her, so I gotta now entertain her. That whole thing doesn't make it interesting, neither for you nor for her. She feels your intentions that are not just getting to know each other, it's something else you want, and you feel pressured because you actually have a plan. You want something out of this conversation other than a conversation, and these are the things that makes you feel uncomfortable and then ends up making you to shy away from girls, and then you start thinking, oh, maybe I don't like girls. No, it's not the case. Just let nature take its course. Just every girl that you see, don't look at her as a prey. Don't look at her as a chance, opportunity, to get between her legs. No. Have more respect for women. Just see them. Hello, how are you? How was your day? Genuinely. Not because I'm saying, how was your day? Because then after that, I want to ask her, okay, what are you doing today? And shall we go out? Can I have your number? Don't. Just interact with people like two human beings on this earth. Then you may gain respect for each other, get to know what are interesting things to each one of you, and then converse, and then maybe you get friends, maybe you get somewhere, maybe it becomes relationship, maybe not. But don't have that on your agenda. Don't have that plan back of your head, because that interferes with proper human connection and interactions. And the energy that is extended from you becomes negative, becomes a ulterior motive. Nothing seems credible and honest, and they will feel it. And then you will not feel you're in a good place either. You know it, they know it, and it becomes really plastic. So just take that out of your head and just say hello. Because you say, that's a human being, and I want to see how she is. And it's a blessing that she's also attractive. Okay, that's it. Nothing more. And Samer says, hello, Meron. Hello, Samer. And Princeton says, Mr. Master Meron. Well, Princeton, where have you been? Says, you're looking fit, brother. Oh, broader shoulders. Well, no, it's because of what I wear. In fact, I think I've lost all my muscle since 8-9 months ago. No gym. I was buffed, really, pretty much. But now it's like, I don't know. But thank you for that. Says, where is your dog? Your room's too quiet. Yeah, well, I never have my dog. That dog doesn't belong to me, but belongs to my family. And but I just saw her tonight. And Carpe Diem says, hello, Meron. Hello, Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem says, I feel motivated today and feel like I need change in life. I feel like I am having a midlife crisis. Any advice of how to deal with these feelings? Male 42, Canada. Carpe Diem, you don't have a midlife. I don't think you qualify for midlife crisis because you're just 42 years old. 42 years old, if you really have a little focus on your own, lifestyle, fitness, and relaxation, and so on, you're at top of your game. The best time of your life, most wise, most qualified, most settled, and most secure in many ways, in ways of knowing life, experience in life, financials, and so on. Usually at that age, people who have been working hard like you, they have advanced and they are at a good place in life. So you've got a lot more to offer to a woman than you had 10 years ago. Because maybe 10, 20 years ago, you had youth more than you have now, but there are lots of other things, understanding, education of certain things, compassion, experiences, they were all lacking. So right now, I don't think you should judge yourself that way. But if you want to make any changes, might as well make sure that it's something that you enjoy and it's going to enhance your qualifications in your own mind. And Kavidem says, I have a good job, but I feel like running away, changing my life, getting more fun excitement, be my own boss, set my own schedule. It is same thing every day, work, home, work, home. Yeah, because there is something after home that you can do, but obviously you're waiting for it to be done or to happen rather than you initiating it, making it happen. And I understand at this time of pandemic and all that, everything is more challenging. But so be it. Use that time to do things that you really are interested in. And I know I'm not talking out of my head. It is challenging. Everybody finds a bit of more loneliness than before because there were so many things before we used to do. But look at it and think of it as if it's a wartime. If it was a wartime, what would you do? We will all be hunkered down and attending to certain duties and waiting for the war to end, or if we are part of it, we would be participating. If we are not, we would be doing some other duties to keep the country going. So it's an emergency. In emergency, it is not a right standard to expect normality and have more expectations than what we could only expect from an emergency. This is an emergency. So put your life onto an emergency mode, that I will settle for less of what was available to me or what I'm capable of enjoying. I will taper it down and be content with less of the opportunities. Instead, I'm going to understand that rather than thinking of it, that why is it that I don't have all the things that could be and should be available to me, so I won't feel lonely, so I will feel excitement. Well, things are not really like that right now. So you can't expect the type of quality that you're accustomed to at the time of emergency. If it was war, many things would be shortage. Now, in this kind of a war, there's a shortage of freedom, shortage of social behavior, social contacts, entertainment. These are what we have to put up with. It's unfortunate. And you're in better shape than I am. I'm much older than you, and time is shorter for me. So I would have liked to see it all open and safe for everybody so we could do what we can do in life and experience to fullest. For people who are older, time is shorter. So we would be suffering more because we're losing time. Every day is precious. You're 42, take good care of yourself and find things that you like according to what's available. Understand why it's only short and the shortage of the fun and excitement due to the special circumstance that we are. And then you would have a little bit more contentment, a little bit more happiness because you understand why it is the way it is. If you want to make changes in your job, just make sure it's going to be something that you won't regret as far as time being difficult and starting a new business maybe could be more challenging than it would be if the pandemic and when the pandemic wasn't here or it's gone, taken care of. So find out what you can do with what is available to bring a little bit more spice without changing your job at the moment. You go to work, you come home, and then perhaps you can do something while you're home rather than waiting for the next day. Create maybe a couple of hours, whatever it is, a couple of hours of interesting things. Doesn't matter what it is, something different but safe. And then when the times change and these problems went away and you have more opportunities for a newer job and you think that it'll last, it'll be secure, it's not risky, I wouldn't shake things up unless I can have reasonable understanding that that new job is going to pan out despite of the pandemic. But it's going to need a lot more than, it needs a regular and normal circumstances. Well, we are not in a normal circumstance, so it'd be risky to start a new job. But again, I don't exactly know what you have in mind. Maybe it's going to be perfect for you to change job or start a new business and your schedule and all that. But I don't know what that entails and what you have in mind. And Carpe Diem says, I'm questioning everything in life. Did I do enough? What is my goal, my mission? Your mission is to simply go through life. That's the mission. Everybody is in this life trying to look for something. It's like somebody's in the jungle and says, I can't see the trees. Or somebody's in the jungle and says, I can't see the jungle. The trees don't let me see the jungle. Well, that is the jungle. So you're here in this life looking for a purpose of life. The purpose of life is life itself. The purpose of life is to learn how to manage and negotiate all these things that we go through. The pandemic, the job, the boredom, all this. This is the whole purpose of life, to experience how we can handle this damn thing. Instead of thinking, none of these matters, I gotta find my mission. The mission is life. There's no need to look for anything. The mission is the experience of life, is the mission. Now, what you can include in this experience of life, sometimes, as you say, it could become boring. Sometimes you may change course. You may have to change course. You'll do that. But altogether, still part of that main mission, which is being alive, doing it as best as you can, seeing it through, go through the journey and experience it, get all the information and experiences that you can in this life. So whatever use it is for, is it for the universe in its generality, to become wiser through our experiences as the extensions of universe itself, we human beings, or whatever else these experiences that we get through our life is going to be useful, maybe for the Akashic universal memory or Akashic library, I don't know. But whatever it is, our job is to deal with this thing that we are going through. Some of it's going to be fun, some of it is not going to be fun. Who likes it not to be fun? But we're here, and we got to see it through. Sometimes it's a war, sometimes it's peace, but collectively that is the mission, to go through the challenges and the things that we need to deal with. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is. We're not in heaven. We are where we are, and it is what it is. And you're trying to turn it and change it to something that it would be always permanently good. That would be wonderful. I'm all for it. But it's not the actuality and reality of the story of life. Kohli says, hello, I'm Art, how are you? Hello, Art, how are you, dear? And Aman, your whole life seems to be set on things that really don't matter much. Say, I have a girl whom I used to like, and she knew, she knew. So she used to push me away and frequently started hate me for whatever I am. I still have access to meet her in to meet her now. I feel but to meet her in any occasion. She's getting better in her career and much more better than me. She also compares me with her. Now I feel embarrassed to meet her. What should I do about it? She doesn't want to meet you, don't meet her. Go enjoy yourself. Why, is she the only girl in this world? Why you hang around the people who don't seem to be decent enough or intelligent enough or wise enough or civil enough to have a cordial interaction with you and hate you? And these are what childish stuff. So if she hates you, she doesn't deserve to have your attention. Go find some girl who is open to have a normal conversation and not have these childish feelings. Or she has a better career, who cares? You be a good person, doesn't matter. If she's full of herself, then why should you be around her? What do you want to prove to her? That you're good enough for her? Maybe she's not good enough for you. If she's not paying attention to you, she's not cordial enough, why do you want to hang around with her? Don't try to prove to yourself that the people who don't like me, if I make them to like me, if I make them to pay attention to me, then I am somebody. No, you're not somebody because some idiot makes attention to you, gives attention to you. You're somebody because you are happy the way you are and you're doing your best to make a better version of yourself, and that's what should be enough to make you happy. Not some idiot who somehow says, I hate you, or this and that, or so forth, and then you try to comply or try to make them feel, change their mind. The hell with them. Go and find other people. There are so many people on this earth. And we have a super chat from Carpe Diem as usual. And Carpe Diem says, thank you, Mehran. I really appreciate your advice and answer. My pleasure, Carpe Diem, and thank you very much for the super chat. Anytime. We hope that these are helpful to people, and especially in specific to your question. And Mael Gaumont says, oh, police siren, you're in danger, run. Okay. We have, sir, when I see a porn, it seems I, for a long time, tired to imagine the feeling of the female's pleasure in certain sexual scene. This has been a great weapon of my HOCD against me. Well, you just don't. You continue enjoying what you think you should be enjoying, and doesn't matter what HOCD or thoughts or images suggest. You are empowered. You are the only one who can make a choice and pay attention to the suggestion of the brain, or simply don't give a damn about what the brain says. Doesn't matter what comes to mind. You understand that this is HOCD, and that's enough for you to not pay attention to it and not to interpret it, not to look for meaning for it, not to go after the conclusion of the word that describes the feeling that this HOCD represented, and simply focus on the fact that who you are, what you've been, how you've lived, what you want to be, what you love to be, what you're interested in, what your lifestyle is, how you've been born and how you lived, and how you want to be, how you want to continue your life. That's what you focus on, what you are, not what suggestion is being made. What you are. And you remember you have a choice, and you're the only person in this entity that can make choices and make things, thoughts, images to come to or not come to reality, actuality, action, because you are the boss, you are the master, you are the only commander, decision maker that can make anything to come to be alive or not to be alive. So no amount of thoughts or images or suggestions can influence you, can threaten you, because you are the one who can leave that thought to die and be a thought, only that, and have no existence, or you turn some thought that you think it might be useful to some actuality by giving it action. So as long as you do not give action to any nonsense that the thought that the brain projects or tries to suggest, nothing can bother you. All kinds of thoughts can come to your mind. You just simply say, that's irrelevant to me. That's not in line with my values. That's not what I prefer or what I enjoy or what I approve of. Therefore, I diss it. I focus on what it is that I want to focus in life, what I prefer, what I want it to be, what I plan for myself, how I like myself to be engaged in that kind of in a lifestyle that I prefer. And therefore, you let the images or suggestions or thoughts by the brain to fall by the wayside. And continuing that rewires your brain, and through neuroplasticity, you begin to regain how you've always been and want to be, and you dissipate all these nonsense and thoughts and HOCD and whatnot. All right, guys. This has been, well, we can still be here a little bit longer. There's only 12 of us here. What happened to the rest of us? We had quite a bit this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Number of people, but we have only 11 people. I wonder. So, well, I wait a few more minutes, see if you have any more questions, and if not, then I can call it a night and let you guys go. So it looks like we have no more questions. So this is the time I say, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to talk to you again next week, Saturday at 1 p.m. Vancouver time, and hopefully Saturday at 9 p.m. Vancouver time. And in the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Okay, I guess we have one question that I just noticed. So I have to say goodbye again in a few minutes. Samir says, hi Miran, I knew 22 Indian. My childhood, I saw, oh, India. In my childhood, he says, I saw my parents' ugly fight with blood on floor, which unfortunately even haunts me today. I really don't know how to erase it or deal with it. Why do you have to erase it? This is something that happened. You weren't involved. So you learn from it how bad it was because the effect it left on you, and you make damn sure that that'll never happen in your life, in your married life, or life with your girlfriend or whatnot. This is an encouragement for you to understand how it looks and how bad it is. Not that my parents did it so I can do it okay too. No, in fact, the reason that you will never do that is because you saw that and you hate it. Two human beings that you love at each other's throat, how ugly and negative it was, the effect of it, the energy that was exchanged there, how the atmosphere looked. All of that is how it will be if you ever try to do the same thing with them, which you should have learned from that experience. So it's in fact, as bad as it was, it's a positive thing for you as an example, as an experience, to give you the good reason that why you never want to have such a kind of interaction with your loved ones, because it's all negative all along it. Beating each other up, blood on the floor. What the hell is that? What kind of interaction is that? So you've seen it firsthand. Your experience is, as bad as it was, is priceless in you realizing how terrible behavior and exchange of energy is that. And what are the reasons for people get like this? Because of the expectations that they have from the other one to provide happiness and comfort for this one, instead of each person taking their own weight and not expecting the other one to be responsible for the happiness of this other one. And one of them says that I rely on the fact that I am, I don't know, they've come from tradition of this, and you, I don't know what the situation was, but I assume it was something that the man was trying to force his will to, because he's a man and traditionally supposed to be respected by the woman, so the woman did not comply to whatever it is that the man wanted as service or whatnot, and then the argument went, or maybe the wife says, you don't have enough money, I want this, I want that, and the man got, disrespected, or the ego got in place. So all of that, no matter what the reason was, the fact and the outcome was immaturity and the lack of positive behavior turned into forgetting about the value of the human being and the relationship and the kind of role model they'll be setting for their children, and they engage in the act of violence, physical violence, for the blood to be on the floor. What does that tell you? That means you never ever want to interpret or take things for granted or expect more than you should expect from the other in order to cause yourself to think that you have the right to expect more from somebody else and hold them responsible for your shortcomings, your happiness. And then try to blame it on them, and then force it upon them, and then the other one does the same thing, which there would be collision, conflicts and divisions, and turn into physical violence. If anything, you have learned quite a bit of that, you will never ever, if you really believe what you're saying, that it was really disturbing, that means you will never ever raise your hand on any woman or your child, ever. I don't care what they do. Fear is no way of leadership. So, for you, that is not something to want to forget. That is something that you've learned from it and you value that lesson, because that is going to make you actually soar in life, because you have a reason, a very first-hand reason to know why you never want to be part of that behavior and that energy. You want to affect the surroundings of you with positive energy. You want them to follow you because of love and fairness and balance. You don't want anybody to fear. You could see the effect of fearful living that your mother and father had created for each other. Where did it lead to? Blood on the floor. So in fact, there is no reason for you to forget that. There's all the reason for you to find that, as uncomfortable, as unhappy, and unfortunate was, a lesson that will propel you to a higher level of humanity by knowing how terrible that thing was. That you will never allow that happen by you or cause someone that you love to feel so unfairly treated that they would end up escalating a situation from communication to violence, physical violence. So don't find yourself a victim. Find yourself someone who's experienced and knows firsthand what is good, what is bad in that sort of a topic. Nico Metushi says, hi, Maron. Hello, Nico. Nico says, Nico Mail 41 France. Ah, bonsoir. And says, I am in and with my wife. We have 2 children. House always fight from front of children all the time. Yeah. Mm. Yes, you certainly don't want to discuss matters in front of the children, Nico. The children are going to learn from that, and they think this is what marriage is, a relationship is. And they're going to end up learning things that they shouldn't be learning. They should actually be trying to stay away from it. So in this way, somebody should take the leadership, and that could be you. You say, dear, we may have differences, and we may be really mad at each other, but what we affect each other, what kind of presentations we bring to each other from each one of us is enough. We don't need to encourage the children also to follow our bad way. If we are really good and capable, let's try to modify our behavior toward each other, and at least in our interaction and communication. We don't need to actually recruit and be a bad role model for these children. So why don't we discuss it when the children are not around? When they're, I don't know, at school, or when they're with their grandpa, grandma, or when we are simply having a moment to go out for a walk or coffee. Or at least if it's in front of children, we must be speaking politely, kindly, with a smile, and discuss. Use the opportunity that there are children around, so we will not come into confrontation and bad mannerism and bad words and angry energies, and instead we try to use that barrier that the children are around to be with a smiling face, proper words, and discussing the topic rather than trying to hurt each other and win a point because I could injure you and I could disrespect you, I could insult you and you could insult me, and that turns out to be more of the same and not good, neither for resolving the situation nor for the role model that you're trying to set for the children. We have Saddam Khan with 100, I believe it must be, Saddam, where are you from? Rupees, yeah? Yeah, okay. It's from 100 rupees, and thank you very much. Very kind of you, very gracious of you. And Saddam says, hello, Samir Khan. Here's super chat of 100 rupees. I know it's very small. So what happens is Samir Khan is talking to Saddam, or Saddam is talking to Samir. I'm not sure who is who. In any case, thank you for the super chat. 。 very kind of you, and we appreciate it. So, is there any other question, guys? We are shrinking by the moment. We were at 15 and we are at 7. It looks like that I did say good night just about 20 minutes ago, but then we had a question, and then from Samir, and then Nico came on, and then Saddam came on. And do we have any more questions, or can we call it a night? If there are no questions, I'll give you a couple of minutes to figure it out, and then I'll have a sip of my tea, and then we'll go from there. I don't know what happened to my microphone here. I have a Scarlett system for the microphone, and every time I now the system rejects it, and it works for a bit, and then suddenly it cuts off. I don't know what's going on with it. So hopefully I'll fix it for the next live stream, and if not, then so be it. I gotta use the inbuilt microphone in the computer. Ah, so both are the same. Ah, Samir and Saddam, they're both the same. Ah, okay. Nico says she wants to divorce. I'm after about children, house, 41. So you're 41 years old, and she wants to divorce, and there are 2 children. Well, whatever you do, make sure that you will have joint custody, because your duty as a father will not end just because the woman wants to divorce, or the woman's duty as a mother does not end just because the man wants to divorce. Whoever wants to divorce, that's a divorce between the 2 people who got married. It's not children's choice. Children want their mom and dad both there. You have to make sure that you have an arrangement, that the mother will not bring new boyfriends in front of the children, and you will not bring girlfriends in front of the children, especially when they're small. When they reach 16 or 17 years old, okay, maybe that's different. But earlier than that is not good. Atif says 38 male, New Jersey, or is it? No, New York City. Says, hello, Mehran. Hello, Atif. Says, I like to have your private paid session. How do I do that? You can go to mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on Talk to Mehran via Skype, or click on the icon that is turning on top right hand corner of the page. It's a Skype emblem signage, or click on the button that says Talk to Mehran via Skype, and then make an appointment based on the duration. If you have a 1 hour appointment for a new client, I throw in 1 hour on me, so we'll have 2 hours in that one session. We'll have ample time to explore. And then you choose the time and date, and the time and date, if it's not available or it doesn't show available, you choose any other date, and then we'll on Skype figure it out what works for you and I both according to the schedules that I have, and then we set it up that way. So you can go through the registration at least, and then it'll come to me, and I'll send you a note on email or on Skype, preferably on Skype, and we will go back and forth on Skype, and we set the exact time according to the time difference and so on, and then we'll get that going. And Nico says, and then to start from 0 again, 15 years with her. Yeah, okay, you've been 15 years with her. Fine. But it's like having a nice car, a Ferrari, and then it's 15 years old, and you say, well, it's broken down, it doesn't work anymore. But I've been with this car 15 years, I have to start with new. Yeah, it broke down. What do you want to do? Maybe you or with the woman, or they don't suitable, because consciousness is a dynamic system. It keeps modifying itself, updating, depending on what you deal with in life and your, what you expect from life, what you want to accomplish, uh, you know, how you want the life to be, uh, makes you feel like maybe you want to go alone, or get divorced and find another relationship. Your taste and your expectations through life can change, and your consciousness, based on the experiences and challenges that you meet, may not no longer enjoy the specification and qualifications that you had or she had for you at the beginning. And these changes can take place. Anything has a duration, like cars, like life, like schooling, like a relationship. It comes to an end. So, but the fact is that you didn't come to an end. The relationship come to an end. So you can go on, find another girlfriend. She can go on, find another man. But I know it's painful. But you cannot rely on a human being that they will abide by their promise forever. They're human being. They are not really reliable, all of them. You know? So what do you want to do? So you start from zero. Yeah, it's better to start from zero than continuing on traveling with the same Ferrari that is broken down and it's gonna leave you in the middle of the desert or in the middle of a dark city, and it doesn't start again, and then you're stuck there, and then you have to handle all kinds of dangers that could come to you, and you have to deal with all kinds of things, maybe burned out engine, or electrical system not working, or the tires are burned. Somehow it's not working anymore. What do you want to do? Because I've had this for 15 years, so I'm going to sit in it and hope to get to my destination. No, it's broken. You get out of the car, start walking, and go home, and then have a tow truck come and take it, and you go and buy another car. That's the end of it. Just because you had it for 15 years doesn't mean it's going to work another 15 years. This duration is finished. Same thing with your woman. Same thing with you. Maybe you didn't want to be with your woman anymore because you don't like her anymore. You want another woman. Or she doesn't want to be with you because, I don't know, she thinks she can do better by herself in life, or she can find somebody better in her mind. Okay, what do you want to do? Oh, because I was with you 15 years, you still have to be a good woman for me? No, maybe she's no longer a good woman for you. Why should you want to be with her if she's not going to be good to you? Why? If she's not going to be good to you, then you got to think what's best for the children and discuss it with her. If she still doesn't listen, then what can you do? You got to start from zero. But it's not zero. You have lots of experience now. You're expert in knowing what is good for life, for children, for finding a new, better woman for you, something that you would have more compatibility, understanding, somebody who's mature enough to stick around difficult times in life. He's not la la land, wants to have fun all the time. I don't know what the situation is. I'm just spitballing here. So that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just do your best. Be a good father. Focus on being the best father you can be. Don't give that up. Ever. Chester says, hi, Mehran. I know a lot of us want to find the perfect partner, girlfriend, or wife. Excuse me. But that seems far-fetched from reality. What are some characteristics that us guys should look for in a girl? Definitely far more than how good looking she is. That's important for you, for anybody, but that's not the only thing you should actually expect. You should see what does she bring to the table. What kind of mannerism, what kind of education, what kind of a job, what kind of a production ability, what kind of expertise, what is she going to accomplish, what is her expectations of life, what is her plans, what is her role going to be in this entity, in this ship that you two want to set sail and negotiate the oceans and its temperature and its temperament. Just because she's pretty, that's part of the thing. Yeah, that's, you're programmed to be attracted and, for procreation, and okay, you want a pretty woman. Okay, what's pretty for you? Fine. But what else is she going to bring in? She's going to bring her physicality. You're going to bring your physicality. Okay, even that. What else is she going to bring? Because you're supposed to bring a lot more things. You're supposed to bring career, ability to provide, leadership, being helpful, being unselfish, being caring, being there for her, and education, whatever else. And she's supposed to be able to bring the same things. Not just because, okay, I'm pretty. All right, wonderful. But I can't have a relationship with pretty. I can't build a life on pretty. I need a lot more than pretty. What else are you going to bring? Because this pretty is physical. We're going to end up getting simply balanced in this pretty thing is not going to be the motor and the locomotive of our relationship anymore. At the beginning, maybe it's exciting, our physical and all that. But then after a while, when the brains are not compatible, when the brains are not stimulated, the whole mechanical life becomes boring and dull. When it becomes dull, it's not challenging. And when it's not challenging, you guys want to escape from each other to find some mental stimulation. The relationship also, when it's just physical, there's nothing else to find to grow together, be compatible, and find interesting, and learn about each other and build a life together. And you don't know how to build, you don't have expectations, you don't have standards. Then after that, it becomes boring. And when it's boring, just like when the mind is dull and bored, wants to go and find something exciting, then your relationship becomes bored because there's nothing that you stimulated with mentally, and then you guys want to go somewhere else and separate. So you gotta look for what is this girl bringing in other than her body, because her body is not her creation. Her body is not her accomplishment. Her body was given to her at birth. That's how she looked. Okay, she, I don't know, nutrition and exercise and kept it fit. That's fine. But her look is not an accomplishment. That was given to her. But you're not having a relationship with her looks. You're having a relationship with the content of her consciousness. Are you bonding on consciousness? Do you understand each other's fears, each other's desires? What about each other's ego? What about each other's consciousness? How is it put together? What is the conditioning of the consciousness of each one of you? That is what is having a relationship. And try to get to know each other. Not have an image of her in your mind about her, and have an image of you in your mind about you. And she has an image of herself in her mind about herself. And she has an image of you in her mind about you. And these images are having a relationship until a day you wake up and see you don't know each other. These images were just pretending and having and complying and having a relationship. But you are now deciding to separate because you never knew each other. You only had a relationship between the two images, expectations and images and so on, and nothing meaningful. No real interaction. So these are some of the things you want to focus on. And Nico says, thanks so much, you're quite welcome. And Zkill, 27, male, Sweden, says, what determines who is less attached in a relationship? Is there such a thing as a balanced relationship where both parties care and love equally much? Or is it always more for one person? Usually could be more for one person because not every two people are the same. But it could be oscillating at some times in life. One is more interested, the other one is. But as the time passes by and they learn about each other, they begin to, even though they may not show it at the same level and amplitude at the same time, but they have the same amount of love and care and attention toward each other. They just show it in different amplitudes in different time of this relation. That's fine. That's acceptable. It's not a problem. Hmm? But by getting to know each other and going through the challenges of life, you gain more respect toward each other by the way you treat each other, by the way you help negotiate the challenges of life, the way you support each other. And through that, you gain more respect and more knowledge about each other, and more unselfishness and more caring, and bringing that feeling of security for each other by supporting either one another. And then that would show you that you guys are actually into it wholeheartedly, and it doesn't matter at which point you pay more attention or which one she does, but in general you both have the same amount of attention and interest and love for each other. Atif says, that was a good explanation of relationship through interaction of images. Thanks for that. You're quite welcome, Atif. All right, guys, I think that is it. We're almost just about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to 2 hours. And perhaps it's time for me to end the live talk, especially getting a little bit late, and I don't want my neighbor to be troubled, and because of our voices a bit maybe energetic here. So, Chester says, mahalo Meron for your knowledge once again. Mahalo, Chester. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. And the love to all Hawaiian brothers and sisters. My adopted hometown or home state. So, guys, I look forward to talk to you again next Saturday, 1 p.m. or 9 p.m. Saturday, Vancouver time, 1 p.m. hopefully and 9 p.m. hopefully. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.